speaking of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried joined one of your spaces when all this was kicking off, right?
Exactly. Yeah, he's the first public appearance he made, or the second. I think the first was New York Times. So the second was on our space, and that was in a court paper. So I found it recently. They talked about my space in the court papers, which is crazy to me. And when I was doing it back then, I never thought would be part, because he said some things that were incriminating in our space that backfired on him. But yeah, so that was. FTX was pretty wild.
Right. So I know you had a bunch of big ones along the way. I listened to your Silicon Valley coverage when I was in London. I listened to your Russia coverage, and we can talk about those because those were crazy moments. And again, sometimes your streams go on how long? Like, what's your longest?
FTX was probably one of the longest. The Russian one would probably be the second, and the Gaza will be the third. So with FTX, obviously, it was nonstop because it was just kept getting worse to worse to worse. So I would do a space for like 20 hours, and I'd sleep for 3, then I'd do another one for 24. And that wasn't all planned. I never wanted to be in the limelight, but there was a need for it. So then I go to sleep, 4 hours later, I get woken up because the hack that happened, and all the funds were getting siphoned off from their wallets. And then I have to do another space that ends up going for another 24 hours. So that was one of the wilder ones. And I had no team. I had my whole team, like my whole company. I have an incubator. That's my main business. I had to freeze everything, move my entire resources to be able to operate that space and get a team to vet the news, vet the like I've done spaces before, right, more structured, and I've done Clubhouse rooms. I used to do the biggest rooms on Clubhouse. Tiny compared to the FTX space and what I have now. So I wasn't ready to deal with what I have now. Now we've got the infrastructure to deal with it. So that was a crazy one. The mutiny one was probably one of the more surreal ones. Was crazy because I was doing the submarine one. Remember the submersible that got lost?
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of people on it. Everyone's trying to figure out, are they alive, not alive?
The Titanic one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I covered that one. I wasn't planning to. But I'm like, let me try to do a space. It blew up for 20 hours. So I did that. I got 6 hours of sleep. Did Imran Khan interview, the former Pakistani Prime Minister, not long before he got arrested. And while I'm doing the interview with Imran Khan, the mutiny started. So I'm talking to Imran, who met Putin, and he was with Putin. He said it in the space. He was the first person Putin told outside a circle that, hey, we're invading Ukraine, because he was meeting Imran Khan while the invasion was happening. So Imran Khan was telling us about that experience and his thoughts about the mutiny, and he's asking me for updates, like, hey, what's happening? And I give him updates, the mutiny's happening. So we end the interview with Imran Khan, which is already a crazy interview. Pakistan was all watching. And then immediately kick off the space for the mutiny. That goes on for 24 hours exactly, because that's how far along the mutiny. It's just insane. And then I end that. I had to go film a reality TV show in LA. So I packed my bags, head off to LA, and that's where the hit pieces begin, the biggest ones. So I had to do. That was probably the crazy one. And then the Gaza war was crazy because it's ongoing till now, 102, 3, 4 days and counting. Yeah. So that was that sucked up a lot of energy, but I had more resources for the Gaza war and even the mutiny than I had back during FTX.
Okay, good. Well, I want to dive into a few of these things, including the hit piece, and I want to talk about a couple of these spaces because each one was slightly different, and I want to find out how you stay on point. You don't have any journalism background, do you? No formal training. So how are you making decisions on how you want to be a journalist in real time? This is in a brand new medium where there's no rules.
Yeah, so a lot of people, everyone asks what my stances are on everything. I get called a Zionist and a Hamas sympathizer. I get called pro-Russian, pro-Ukrainian. I get called a Democrat, a Republican, which is perfect for me. As soon as one side is happy and one side is not happy, it means I'm not doing something right. So your question is, I don't have a journalism background. I think that's a good thing, because I've got a lot of respect for real journalists, and I wouldn't put them all in one basket. There's journalists that have nothing better to do than write hit pieces and fabricate information. And there's others that risk their lives in war zones to bring stories that no one else would cover. They're not the same, but they're both called journalists. I think it's unfair. I don't have that background, but since I was a kid, because of a few personal experiences, I've learned to always be in the middle on any issue.
You've said this before. You got to allude a little bit. What were these personal experiences? Because it clearly defines who you are today.
Look, I've seen how polarizing topics, and this is very important for the US right now, polarizing topics could destroy families, which I went through, could destroy friendships. I think someone put that warning out. We tweeted about it a couple of days ago. someone was warning about this is going to happen in the US. And it was yesterday. It's like, friendships are going to get destroyed. Families are going to get destroyed in the next election because of how polarized the US is. Organizations, cultures, companies, employees, it's going to get ugly. But it's still very, very different and much better to what you see in Arab countries, in Eastern European, in some Asian countries, African countries, where people kill each other because of political or religious ideologies. So I have no religious beliefs, I have no political stances.
But you have a family background that makes you
My family
sensitive
was
to the facts.
My family was almost gonna. So my mom and dad's family are completely split politically. I spent time with my mom's family, and they brainwashed me when I was a kid on why their political stance is the right one and the other one is horrible. I spent time with my father's family, complete opposite. They got pictures and like obsessed with them, and their history. Two of my family members within one family, my mom's family, almost went to war against each other on two separate sides. I find that to be extremely stupid. So since then, and always being in those political discussions, I've been in politics technically since I was a kid, because I was obsessed with it since I was a kid. Even though my business, I almost did political studies in university before I went into banking and finance. So my obsession in politics has existed for a long time. And I've seen, it's very simple, man, and you know it better than everyone. There's a lot we don't know. We come to conclusions, we fight with others because of conclusions that we have based on extremely limited and filtered information. So I decided to never come to any conclusions and instead always look for this information, always ask questions. I made that promise to myself as a kid. That's what I do now. I ask questions and I always have both sides on stage, and I get attacked for it all the time. I got so much hate when I got Alex Jones. But I think, even though I disagree with a lot of what he says, it doesn't mean he shouldn't have a platform and have a debate with others. And I'm not the arbiter of truth, right. The audience is. I try to bring information in a balanced way.
Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I am just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.